How I learned from my mistakes. Embracing growth in attention deficit disorder management.
Thank you for joining me today. Even if you're running a bit late, don't worry about it. We all have those moments. Let's make the best out of the time we have together. Are you comfortable and ready to begin?
Yes, thank you. I apologize for being late. It's just so hard for me to stay on track sometimes.
I understand, and it's okay. Part of our work together will be finding strategies to help you manage time better, among other things. Remember, we are here to learn and improve, not to judge or criticize. Let's start by acknowledging that your ADHD is a part of you, but it doesn't define you. It's simply an aspect of your experience. Let's call this challenge the guided journey. How does that sound?
That sounds good, actually. It feels less negative.
I'm glad you feel that way now. When we talk about your guided journey, we're going to focus on strengths, strategies, and growth. One thing to remember is that it's perfectly okay to make mistakes. Everyone does. What matters is what we learn from them and how we move forward.
I get that. But I can't help blaming myself whenever I mess up at work or forget something important.
It's understandable that you feel that way. But let's try to shift that mindset. Instead of blaming yourself, consider the idea of learning from the situation. For instance, if you made a mistake at work, could you think about what led to that mistake and how you might avoid it in?
I guess I can do that, but I just feel like I can't learn from my mistakes. It's like I'm helpless to stop them from happening again.
The feeling of learned helplessness can be quite overwhelming. Indeed, it's a belief that you don't have control over what happens, but that's not entirely true. You do have control, especially over how you react to situations. This is where cognitive behavioral strategies can help. They can teach you to better manage your ADHD symptoms and promote a more positive self-image. And remember, in your guided journey, you're not alone. We're here to navigate it together.
That sounds promising. I'm willing to give it a try.
Excellent. We'll take small steps, and remember, progress is progress, no matter how small it seems. Let's begin by identifying situations where you tend to struggle most, then we'll gradually build coping strategies around them. How does that sound?
It sounds like a plan. Let's get started. Sure, I often have a hard time staying focused on one task. I work in a busy environment and there are lots of distractions. I also tend to procrastinate on tasks that I find boring or repetitive. And then, when I realize I'm running out of time.
Thank you for sharing those instances. It's clear that focus and procrastination are key areas for us to work on. And remember, it's not about completely eliminating these challenges overnight, but about finding ways to better manage them. For focus, have you tried any specific techniques or tools in the past? What worked and what didn't work for you?
I've tried making lists and prioritizing tasks, but it's hard to stick to them. Sometimes I get sidetracked by something else that seems more interesting or urgent.
That's a common experience with ADHD, being pulled towards more immediate or interesting tasks. But it's excellent that you've tried different strategies. It shows your willingness to improve. How about we explore some new ways to work with this?
That sounds doable. I think having a set time to complete a task would definitely keep me on track.
Wonderful. Let's start with that then. Begin by choosing a task, set a timer for 25 minutes, and then fully focus on the task during that time. After the timer goes off, take a 5-minute break. This is your time to relax or do something enjoyable before you set the timer again for the next task. As for procrastination on tasks you find boring, how about we explore ways to make them more engaging? For example, could you pair them with something you enjoy? Like listening to a podcast or music while doing paperwork.
I never thought of that. It might actually work. I do enjoy listening to podcasts.
Fantastic. So here we have 2 strategies for you to experiment with. Remember, it's a process and progress may be slow, but it's still progress. I'd suggest trying these techniques over the next week, and we can then review how they worked for you. How does that sound?
That sounds good. I'm willing to try these techniques.
Excellent. Remember, you're not alone in this guided journey. We're exploring these techniques together, and we'll adjust and adapt them as we go along. Let's plan to touch base about this during our next session. Until then, remember to be gentle with yourself. Progress is made through consistent effort, not instant perfection. As a disclaimer, the information in this video is meant to provide general awareness and should not be used as a substitute for professional medical advice or therapy.
Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with your loved ones. Subscribe for more content on mental health awareness. Remember, there's no health without mental health. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.